you all for being here and sharing this afternoon with brioLife and myself, as well as Guide Dogs Association. I'm very honored that we have so many friends amongst us. I just want to share a little bit about my story with Esme with you. I wouldn't have been here with a guide dog today if not for the generosity of Singaporeans, many people like yourselves who have both financially helped the Guide Dogs Association as well as, more importantly, made it more accessible for me to get into public places and public transport in Singapore. It has been challenging at times where I try to take a bus or a train and to go to food establishments, and often we are turned away. However, I was just sharing with some of the guests on my table earlier that things have gotten a lot better in the last 2 years, because I think that public awareness has grown, that people are starting to realize that a guide dog is not a pet and it's able to do a lot more. Esme helps me get around from place to place, and I wouldn't have been able to do it so conveniently and easily without her help. I work right in the middle of Orchard Road. My office is at Tanglin Shopping Centre, and often I try to go out for lunch instead of staying in the building because it's kind of boring. There's only one store selling Cai Peng in that building. So I will take a walk either to sometimes to Takashimaya, or even if I go further to Plaza Sing, it's about half an hour walk, and through the Orchard human crowd and the shops. It's a very congested area, even for sighted people, but I always had difficulty in the past doing that. Now I can do it very easily and very conveniently, and most importantly, very, very safely, because I no longer have to bump into people or dustbins, furniture that's around the way, because Esme will guide me around this obstacle. She's an indispensable part of my life now. And I hope that each one of you would be able to continue to support this movement of guide dogs in Singapore, that they will continue to help more blind Singaporeans like myself regain a more independent lifestyle. Well, the other thing that I also wanted to share a little bit about with you all is Esme's health journey. Well, she is a dog that is bred specifically to work as a guide dog, but I couldn't find the food that she was given at her guide dog school when I first came back to Singapore. So I put her on a regular brand dog food, and within a couple of months, I came back in November, and by March or April, she put on so much weight. She was 30 kilos when she came back, and she was at that point in time 36.5 kilos. So that's 6.5 kilos more than what she was in a span of 4 months. So I was kind of upset. The vet told me, hey, you got to do something, put this dog on a diet, go work off the weight. And that's what I did, but it didn't bring the weight down sufficiently, only by about half a kilo. Then the doctor said, okay, time for age and weight management food. I said, yeah, but this dog is 2 years old and a little bit. You're giving her old dog food? Well, but I didn't have much of a choice. I got Esme to get on that food, and she did lose the weight. However, because it was a low-calorie diet, she also lost the ability to work. She just became very, very lethargic. She was still healthy, but she just didn't have the energy to guide me around to get to places. So I looked around many different options, and I remembered that when I first came back a couple of months ago, 2 very friendly people reached out to me and said, hey, if you ever need help with dog food and finding the best nutrition, come to us. And that's what I did. I went to Jack and Hui Xian, and they actually recommended me to try out several different types of the dog food that Bosch carries, which I did. And I found that after putting Esme on the Life Protection Age and Weight Management range, she has actually improved tremendously in terms of her energy level, and most importantly, like our Dr. Nathan over the other side said, this is the trimmest Labrador you'll probably ever see in Singapore, because she's healthy, she's fit, she moves around, and most importantly, she's able to work for me in the energy level that she has. But one other thing that I never thought would happen is, when I came back to Singapore with Esme, because of our humidity, she was also very prone to ear infections, and every other week I was running to the vet to get ointments for her ear. But this problem has more or less, I would say about 90% stopped. I no longer have to go to the vet that regularly to get ear mite cleaners and stuff like that to stop the ear infection, because somehow there's something magical about the food that she's taking that has eradicated that problem almost completely for me now. I thank Jack and Hui Xian for bringing such a wonderful product to Singapore, not just for Esme, but I'm sure for many, many other pet owners in Singapore as well. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Hui Xian.